Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to discuss field sorrel, also called sheep sorrel or red sorrel. First of all, although I did check on the pronunciation, but in case if I'm pronouncing it wrong, please feel free to correct me. That is perfectly all right. Have a look at this beautiful scene. Over here in my state, if you keep your head straight, you'll see pine trees everywhere. And if you bend your head and look down, you'll see these field sorrels everywhere. Both of these are in abundance here. And I can safely say that almost 90% of the green area in this state it's covered either with pine trees or else with these sorrels. And I absolutely won't have it any other way. In the native language of this state, we just call it grass because over here it's everywhere like grass. In fact, when I first thought of doing this video, I thought that I'll cover this plant just as a good ground coverage within permaculture. I didn't even realize that people actually grow these. So that was something. Like if you have a patch of wasteland or an abandoned building, the first thing that will grow here are these sorrels. Sorrels. Oh my god, this word is like a tongue twister for me. These plants they can very easily grow in rocky terrains or on hard surfaces. Like if you see in this scene, these are all these field sorrels growing out of this wall. This is not a wall actually. In the inside of this place is covered with rocks. I think why these sorrels grow in abundance here might be because of the weather conditions. This state has it's supposed to have temperate weather conditions. We do have proper 4 seasons, and although for us it's pretty rough summers and winters as well, but I think people from other states will disagree with me because in comparison to the other states of this country, this place is heaven really. Look at the flowers on this plant. So beautiful, isn't it? These are like flakes. And this plant, although it flowers only in summer, but it stays green all throughout the year. In fact, it'll be green even when it's snowing here. And even if it hasn't rained for like 4 or 5 months, still it'll remain green and have small leaves. And most importantly, this plant is edible. In fact, this entire plant is edible. When we were kids, we used to just randomly pull out these leaves and eat them. We shouldn't have done that actually. We should have cleaned them first. But anyways, they have kind of a tangy, mildly sour taste. Very tasty, especially in summers because of the heat. You like that taste. It kind of freshens you up. And so you can use this plant in salads or if you are making any vegetable based dish and you need that little bit of sourness without the zestiness of, say, like a lemon. And even wild animals, especially cattle, love these plants. People often bring out their cattle to graze on these plants, and even the wild animals love these. What a beauty! This is a perennial plant, so you only have to plant them once. And if you cut them off for your use or if your animals eat them, they'll grow right back up. And I think this is an awesome plant for ground coverage in your forest, not only because it's so beautiful, but also most importantly because it grows all year round. It requires absolutely no manual upkeep, like literally, and because it's entirely edible. So it's a great addition for all the wild animals coming to your forest. I think it's a great overall addition to increase the biodiversity of your forest. Don't you also think so? Such an easy plant to grow anywhere, be it on rocks, be it on gravel, like around your house in permaculture forest. You can have this plant and it will look so nice and be such a useful addition. It's summer's here, pine needles falling everywhere. I love, I love slipping on these pine needles, but when you are alone. So, if you are all alone, usually I go very early for my walks in the morning, and usually almost every other day I trip and slip on these pine needles because this is a mountainous terrain, right? So, all the paths are uneven and wonky. But I like tripping only when I am alone, not if somebody else is present around me. And best part about pine needles is just sitting in a tub or those old plastic tires and someone pulling you down the hill which is covered with dry pine needles. Oh my god, that is absolutely awesome. As you can see here in this scene, these sorrels are also very good for your soil. Not only are these nutritious for your land, as in it helps in increasing the fertility of the soil, but also these plants are very good for holding your soil. Meaning these plants have deep root structure. So like over here, because we have hills all around, so landslides are very common in monsoons. So if the soil is exposed because the trees have been cut down, so if you grow these plants, then they hold the soil tight within their root structure and it prevents the soil from falling down or else from sliding away during heavy rains. Look at these plants. They are growing out of tar, the tar that is used to make roads. These plants are so stubborn and resilient. Some people would advise against these plants because they spread a lot and might become invasive. But I strongly feel, especially from a permaculture design point, that these are great value add to your land and to the flora of your place and a great help to the fauna. You know what? I think I'm gonna go on a rant here. I hate it when I read anywhere that so and so plant is invasive. I'm like, excuse me? We humans are invasive. It is us who have invaded this earth that belongs to these plants and animals. The fact that a plant is actively able to grow at a place when we, the idiotic humans, are working to eradicate that plant from that land, it proves that those plants are native to those lands and we are the invaders. From my learning, the first principle of permaculture is to mimic nature. And nature is not only allowing these plants to grow, but it is actively providing them conditions under which these plants are thriving. We, the humans, have a problem with it. Then we have to mend our ways, right? We don't have to mend nature. Nature is perfect. I think we should get this point straight in our brains. Okay, rant over. Oh, did you catch that bird on the left? It's a type of cuckoo bird. It's called Himalayan bulbul. In fact, this trail that I'm covering, we often see wild pheasants and wild hens and roosters also over here. And those wild hens and roosters, they are big, as in they are giant sized for a hen. To me, it looks like a miniature peacock. First time I saw them, I thought it's the baby peacock or something. It's only when somebody pointed it out to me that it's not a baby, it's actually a giant sized rooster. My rant also reminded me that these sorrels are excellent to have as companion plants. So I think like if you have a large vegetable patch, or even if you are growing vegetables for farming, you can have these at the edges of your fields, or even better, just have them as I would prefer it, and let them grow with your vegetables or fruit trees. Because firstly, they are edible. Secondly, they continuously keep on replenishing your soil. And thirdly, they repel pests. So if you feel at any point that they are growing a lot, you can just prune them regularly. I mean, you'll be pruning your fruit trees as well, right? So at the same time, give these also a good cleanup and let them grow, because that will be so good for the wild animals in your forest. Come, I'll show you a complete short path that I usually take, and you'll just see how wonderful it is to see all the various plants growing together without any human disturbance. First, over here, this is called Mrs. Wilson's Barberry Tree. I did not know that official name. See, one of my favorite things about making these videos is that I get to find these names and all this new information which I otherwise would have been too lazy to search. So these berries, they are edible. They'll be dark, very dark purple, navy, blackish in color, and very tasty. We used to eat them a lot when we were kids. Only problem was that it's a bit of a hassle picking them because they are so tiny. But then again, they are so tasty that as kids, nobody minds that. This over here is called Punjab fig. I think I've heard it called Bedu, I think. Anyways, I searched online and its scientific name is Ficus palmata. 100% sure I've butchered that name, so sorry. This is also an edible berry and it's extremely tasty and very filling. It's purplish in color and very sweet and very satiating when you eat it. That's why it's so popular here. So much food growing out in the wild, not just for animals but even for human consumption, and without any human intervention. So wonderful, isn't it? So we have this Mrs. Wilson's barberry tree first, then this Punjab fig growing over here. Next, what do we have? Okay, next is an evergreen rose plant, or evergreen rose tree or bush, whatever you want to call it. I have already made a video on it. You should go check it out. I mean, the video is all right, but the scenes are brilliant. It's in my plants in the wild playlist. And underneath all this, we have this sheep's sorrels, which we are covering in this video. So wonderful, isn't it? All of these plants and trees growing together and living in harmony. And moving ahead, we have this pine tree forest, which is native to this land and extremely crucial for this place because this is the Himalayan range. This forest, I have made multiple videos following various trails inside this forest. If you want, you can go to my nature walk playlist and check them out. This is a wild pomegranate plant. Over here we have many wild pomegranates just growing out in the wild randomly. Very tasty fruit. And this plant growing to the right of these sheep sorrel, this is called curly dog sorrel. And just like the normal ones, its fruit is a bit larger and even its leaves are larger than the sheep's sorrel. This is also a perennial plant and it's edible and it can also be cooked. Over here we have this sheep sorrel growing with crofton weed. I've done a video on crofton weed, and as I had said in that video that in this region this crofton weed is not an invasive plant. It only grows in winters and then by summertime, like it is right now, it just dries off. To the left, you can see an evergreen rose shrub. I've done a video on this plant and I love this flower. Now, personally, I'm more into fruits and vegetables and berries rather than flowers, but this one is definitely at the top of my list to grow in my forest. This over here is nettles, and these are edible. In fact, they are extremely healthy, not only for your body but even for the soil. And it's a must recommendation for a permaculture forest. Following this, we have, oh my god, now this brings back memories. So, this is a native plant to this land. This is called golden Himalayan raspberry. It's also called Robus ellipticus. These berries are, oh my god, so yummy, so tasty, just delicious, so sweet. I cannot explain to you how delicious these are. But there's a downside to these. If you eat them a lot, and I mean a lot, then it'll upset your stomach and you might get diarrhea. I should not laugh, okay? It's a serious matter. But when I say that you have to eat a lot, I mean like literally, like imagine from morning till evening you are only eating these berries. And when we were kids, we used to do them because they grow only in summer and these are so attractive, not just to look at, but even to eat. We used to eat them a lot, and if you keep on eating them, all day long, as kids might usually do, then just be ready to spend the night in bathroom. But no regrets at all. It's absolutely worth it because these are incredibly tasty. And more importantly, the side effect happens only when you are behaving like kids and don't eat it in moderation. If you eat it in moderation, just few berries here and there, it's perfectly all right and no side effects at all. Walking little bit ahead, and we have these Punjab figs growing here again. A huge tree full of fruits. Then little bit ahead we have this huge bush of evergreen rose. This looks so beautiful when it's in full bloom. These flowers are now drying off. And see, in between we have this golden yellow Himalayan raspberry growing. See, you can see these evergreen roses and these yellow raspberries together. It looks so incredibly beautiful, isn't it? And imagine for all the pollinators, so easy. All the flowers, all the berries, everything together. I mean, it's like a feast every day. And to the left, this you can see wild pomegranate, one more tree over here. Like I had said, we had loads of wild pomegranate here growing out in the wild. And then following that, we have these sheep's sorrels. Isn't it beautiful? And see in the back, you can see the wild pomegranate bush growing. Such an enchanting view, isn't it? I love walking on this trail, especially in the mornings. Wow, now this is a view. What an incredible plant. See, Mother Nature is just all encompassing. Through human intervention, we can get all these perfectly manicured gardens and lawns, but all of it fails in comparison to what the nature can bestow upon us. And look at this view. This is the road that I take every day for my morning walks. I have to walk around 3 kilometers to reach this trail, and it's so worth it. And this is the Himalayan range forest. I've made many videos exploring this forest. If you go to my nature walk playlist, you will find many videos covering this. Look at all the color. Looks like autumn, isn't it? Because the pine needles are falling, but it's summer still here. I love autumn, it's my favorite season. I cannot wait for it really. And over here we have the sheep's sorrels again. I'm getting better at pronouncing it, isn't it? Here I spotted a plant. This is called agave. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And this single plant was growing over here. This is a drought tolerant succulent and it's an excellent antiseptic. Just like aloe vera plant, we can use its leaves for skin infections, especially burns and wounds. It's a great plant. I wonder how this one plant is growing here in the wild. Next, I spotted these plants. This is called purple heart. This is usually an indoor plant and used as a house plant. Many houses have these here. When I was a kid, we used to have these in pots in our house. So beautiful, isn't it? Such vibrant color. Did you know in Feng Shui these plants are considered lucky? Nice, no? It's supposed to increase creativity and knowledge. You know what now I wonder is that why my mother grew them to help boost our brain power for school. You know those nettles I showed you earlier? So, if ever you by mistake touch those nettles, your skin will burn, right? It will sting very badly. In that case, what you can do is take out some leaves of these sheep sorrels and rub it directly on your skin. Immediately, it'll bring you relief instantly. Just pull out some leaves of this sheep sorrels, or if it's supposing it's winters and and you are not able to find any leaves, just pull off the entire plant or take even the stem. You can even take the stem of this plant and rub it on your skin. Immediately it'll bring you relief. It's such a good remedy when you get touched by nettles because we have not a lot of nettles here growing around the corners. So while walking, the exposed part of your skin might by mistake touch these nettles and it burns a lot. So just rub the leaves, or else if you don't have the leaves, the stem directly onto your burning part and immediately it will bring you relief. Well, I talked so much in this video, but we identified so many plants. I'm very happy about it. What I'll do is, I know it's sometimes it might get difficult to understand because of my accent. So what I'll do is I'll mention in the description box all the plants that we identified in this video. So in case if you want to have a look, you can check out the description box and go through more details if you want. Okay, see over here, tiny insect is munching away on these leaves. Nice. All right, guys, so we've reached the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun filming this video and rating on it as well. So hope you have a good day, enjoy, and happy hiking.